All right, so let us now head on over to the business of the day. I'm going to introduce our first speaker for today. Her name is Alicia Narainsamy. She is the underwriting head in the digital distributions division at SHA. She is going to be talking to us today about broking in a digital world and making specific reference to SHA's one-of-a-kind pocket underwriter platform, which really empowers brokers to generate their own quotes and policies within minutes, among other things. But I won't elaborate too much. Alicia will share more on this. So without any further ado, it is over to you, Alicia Narainsamy.
Thank you, Noni. And that is an interesting lineup, if I should say so myself. With regards to broking in a digital world, I myself are really looking forward to Michael Anderson's talk, specifically having read the book myself, Leading in the Next Normal. And, a statement that really resonated with me, having read the book myself, is that technology is not a tool. It really is a platform. I hope you guys can now see my screen. And this in detail, Michael Anderson will probably allude to it, but in my few years of heading up a very successful digital distribution and division team, we embraced this concept. And, we were able to, via this platform, take our business from just in the first year, reaching 500,000 to 5 years later, reaching 42 million in just the space of 5 years. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh gosh, here goes another millennial talking about how I need to transform my business to stay alive. And you would be right about me being a millennial, that is. But in my decade of insurance, and yes, it has been that long. Yes, it was also legal, in case some of you were wondering for me to start working back then. What I have seen is that with every new insurance trend, there's a strong call to action for brokers to quickly transform their business to stay relevant and remain competitive. And I can imagine that that must be exceptionally difficult in this time. But today, brokers, my call to action for you is just that. Be the broker, not the CIO, not the CTO, not some tech specialist. There's a special place for you in this insurance ecosystem, an ecosystem that I'm sure you would agree is much more collaborative. Therefore, the key is that you discover how to play in this digital habitat. And how we do that is really by understanding, what do our clients want? Now, they say the first step to digitally transforming your business is understanding this, right? Understanding what your clients want, hearing what they say, their needs, etc. And bear in mind the famous quote by Henry Ford. Some of you may know it. It basically goes something like this. If he had to ask his clients what they would want, they would have said back then, faster horses. Now, to save you from receiving that feedback, we've taken the liberty of surveying 944 participants to really unpack what clients are saying about conducting business in this next normal. Now, 52% of brokers indicated that their clients would be happy to continue to meet on virtual platforms post the pandemic, but we suspect that this will be largely driven by consumer or customer behavior in those specific sectors. 77% of businesses will continue to work from home post-pandemic. However, in our general business survey, just under 20% of the respondents said that they would not be looking to continue working remotely. Now, this pool of business owners are more than likely based in sort of the service or manufacturing sector, where remote working may not be, a general option. Interestingly enough, almost 84% of businesses have digitalized their business as a result of this pandemic. So it's safe to say that the pandemic really accelerated the technological development across all the sectors. But guys, what does this really mean for you? What does this really mean for the broker in this digital ecosystem? For brokers, the global stats indicate that brokers can increase their revenue by 37% just by offering a digital solution of sorts. And if 52% of clients from our earlier stats that we know, 52% are happy to meet online, then this really makes my next statement a bit more palatable for you. There's a huge revenue and growth opportunity that you could be taking advantage of by making those simple strides to digitally transform the way you do business. At the preamble of my talk, I positioned that very bold statement by Michael Anderson that technology is not the tool, but it is the platform. And I believe that it is the enabler. Most of you would have probably quickly went to Google to debunk that statement. You can also check out Harvard Business Review on interesting stats thereof. But hear me out for a second. You don't need to go and change your whole operating model. That's not what I mean by say, make the small changes. You simply need to, on one hand, just really understand your business strategy. And on the other, partner with insurers that you can leverage off of, allowing them to do the heavy lifting. That's what I call using tech smartly. Now, speaking to this point of partnering with the insurers, some insurers have really identified huge opportunities where they can generate value for brokers using online platforms. Seeking alliances with these digital portals allows you to offer online services to your clients, which results in better service, but at the same time, reduce the cost for you to become more efficient. Now, let's look at some of the digital pillars here that support my argument. Firstly, you need to understand your client base and segment that base, making it more penetratable for future products. Why am I saying this? Because we understand that customers seek personalized products. Secondly, affair yourselves with digital platforms that exist in and around the insurance industry and in the market that are readily available for you. Why? Because we understand that clients want to engage online, and our stats indicate that. And lastly, scale and leverage. It's understood that by using these platforms with clients online and connecting via MS Teams and Zooms and the likes, by just sharing your screen, it creates that trust and openness. And we know that clients want transparency, right? Especially in the insurance industry. From this, our brokers can have strong growth and efficiency, attract the talent to the business, and most importantly, drive better customer satisfaction, helping you build even more trust. Now, technology helps you improve great service and advice that the brokers provides. Hear me out. It does not replace it. So in case you're wondering, guys, why I can confidently sit here and say these things and share these insights with you, it's because we have really taken a digital journey of our own. So it really would be a miss if I don't share the insights and the information, which could basically support the strategies and help you better engage with your client, right? So I'm not sure of how many of you have probably heard of the concept of an innovation pipeline, but in short, it's like a systematic approach that's used to generate sort of a steady flow of actionable items or ideas at a time like this when change is accelerating. For those that don't know, 2015 was a significant year in the tech industry. I mean, we witnessed the launch of Apple's first wristwatch to Tesla's almost driverless car. But these global events not only captured the attention of the masses, what it also did here was help spur big changes in the advancement of new technologies. Equally so, and bringing it back home to SHA in 2015, we launched our first digital solution, the Pocket Underwriter, which broke some mental models, if I may be so brave to say so, but it really paved the way for digital transformation. Now, a few short insights of what brokers can do on the platform and how they can quote. The covers you'll find are really tailored towards the SME in our world, which is why when we began launching, we launched with public liability in and around 2015, and we scaled it up very quickly in 2017 to open it up to the brokers, allowing them to quote online. Just mid-2019, we opened it up to allow professional indemnity, including a host of other extensions. And just in case you're wondering, our public liability cover, as mentioned, includes a wide range of extensions, about 28 or so to be exact, which caters for SMEs with a turnover below 20 million Rand, and a limit of indemnity that they can go up to is 25 million Rand. What we've also done here with PI is allow the brokers to quote on the platform, and it's relatively easy for them to remember because it's really, very clear cut. We offer 10 million Rand limit of indemnity for entities who have a fee income below 10 million Rand. And here we really try to cater for a wide range of professions, from your architects to your attorneys, your engineers, the loss adjusters. We even catered for the accountants here. So additionally, and more insights from our digital journey as well, we saw the recent spike in cyber events and we deemed it necessary to sort of meet the market with an end-to-end solution for first and third party, but we really wanted to extend beyond that, right? Especially for the SMEs. So we actually wanted an insurance approach that serves the client when it matters the most. So we invested here in a suite of risk management services for pre and post incidents. And here, in this way, by doing this, it supported the client at claim stage, but also it helped the broker to build that long-lasting relationship with the client from inception, basically ongoing. And what this really does is it creates the awareness and it drives proper risk management, and also it provides ongoing support at very critical times. So we really had a clear vision when we embarked on our digital journey, and we wanted to cater for the SMEs. We ensured that the wording was in plain and simple language, and that the cover really spoke to that of an SME, right? Which is why you'll find that your core covers like PI and PL, you can add on accidents and health, directors and officers onto one policy online, making it customizable and modular. Now, you would have seen that interesting stat about risk management. So I just want to take a few seconds to unpack that very quickly. Risk management has not kept pace with the proliferation of digital transformation. Sounds like a mouthful, right? But going back to that stat, if 54% of our clients perceive this as the most valuable, then isn't there a gap opening? One that could probably really only be closed by risk innovation at scale. COVID-19 has propelled digital transformation, making it, one of the top trends in business today. However, most of these transformations are undertaken without sort of any formal way to capture and manage the associated risks, leaving us with a huge gap, especially for the SMEs who are forced to remain competitive. But guys, how could they manage the risk if they're unaware of how exposed they really are, right? It's a question, and a very burning one at that. So just an example from what we did here is, to this end, we've partnered with the various suppliers on a cyber liability product to run the vulnerability scans, and that really, making it very quick and easy at quote stage. And what this does is that brokers are able to be in a better position to render their advice and sell the cover, having understood really, where the client's position on risk management really is here. Just some interesting stats that I wanted to share and some key indicators from our journey once again with you on the platform. What I've done is I've pulled apart our data. And here I really looked at the hit ratio. And this is when brokers conducted these quotes versus when the underwriters in our office conduct the quotes themselves. And we see a major disparity in the figures in that the broker hit ratio, and this is from quote to sale, is 75%, shockingly, right? But when an underwriter conducts it at our offices, it scales down to 35%. Now, we attribute this difference to the fact that brokers, at most times, will be in front of their client online, making it easier to conclude the sale. Now, if there's anything you probably learned about me in this really short space of time, is that I love using stats and I love backing up my findings. So McKinsey ran an interesting survey on about 1,000 clients in 4 different countries. And what they did was they wanted to identify the shopping experience and the preference. And topically, what frustrated consumers the most is the slow turnaround times. But you already knew this, right? You didn't need a McKinsey stat to tell you that. You also probably already experienced it. And we understand this to be significantly critical when it comes to the SME market, where they are often tendering. And the beauty part of the platform is that when brokers quote, they can actually get from getting a quote to activating a policy under 10 minutes. And this substantially helps the broker and puts that client, that SME, in a better position to actually acquire that tender. So by now you would have all heard of instant gratification, right? It's that feeling that we get when we instantly gain the answers to something. That feeling that Google provides us, when we don't have the answers. For example, sitting around a dinner table and you really want to know that drummer in that rock band, that's your favorite rock band, but you just can't get the name. Or product liability, what is it? Public liability. Let me just quickly Google search. Oh, guys, and this is really a thing. This was actually the top 5 most searched for questions under Google. People actually searched for what do men want? Now, I cannot promise you that an online platform in the insurance industry similar to Pocket Underwriter will ever generate an answer for that question, but you should be able to have those answers to those tough questions that your clients pose to you just at your fingertips. You shouldn't have to call someone in the office at their convenience to get those answers, right? On what type of cover should I provide the client in the retail industry? Or what is product liability, or even the difference between inefficacy and product recall? You should be able to go online and get those answers, enabling you to render advice to your client in real time and also make you look like the expert you really are. So speaking of instant gratification, I've just taken some stats again once from our experience with online platforms and what brokers really asked us over this lockdown period. So I've sifted through some of those burning questions that approach the desk, genuine brokers and genuine questions, genuine instances. And funnily enough, brokers were not able to perform the simplest of tasks um, due to or in this lockdown period. And so we matched it with some of the quick things that an online platform can support, if they had it readily available to them. Believe it or not, but some clients were not able to complete proposal forms. And it's annoying, and it's due to the fact that they were not able to go into the office to scan the documents, etc. And this is really the basic requisite for acquiring a quote, right? Which really made attracting new business quite difficult from some brokers. So the platform was able to allow the clients to complete the link online to the qualifying questions, wherever the client really was. So whether he was overseas or she was overseas, or just, at the click of a button on their phone. And by using the link, the client can complete these qualifying questions, thereby, allowing the broker and the underwriter to receive the information and actually generate that quote. Now, due to the complex lines of business that we specifically find ourselves in and we're involved with, providing holistic cover to the client may be somewhat a challenge, especially for the SMEs, especially for the brokers, because SMEs require more than just public liability, and attorneys require more than just your standard PI. So the industry's tool basically unpacks, and if you channel through it, you're able to click on a specific industry, and the tool really provides insights into some of the basic covers that client would need in that industry. Now, juggling conference platforms such as MS Teams and Zooms, and literally keeping track of the advice you offered, I know can get tricky, right? Because there's a lot happening on your screen all at one time, etc. But the ability to use the platform online, especially with regards to the Pocket Underwriter, we have a record of advice portion, and that supports your current record of advice. And what you really can do here is click on the button, it starts recording and basically tracks every page that you're speaking to with your client. At the end of the session, it PDFs it, bundles it, and it's in your inbox within minutes. And this can be used to support your current record of advice in terms of the various, topical items that you went through with the client. Let's face it, clients love options, and so do we. But the time it takes for the broker to mediate between the insurer and the client for different limits can take several hours. So if brokers use platforms when quoting live with a client, a platform that can basically allow them to adjust limits online, Pocket Underwriter does that as well, the broker can scale up the limits, allowing transparency and a quicker decision, resulting in a higher hit rate. Now, these are just a few ways an online platform can support your initiatives. And lastly, and just before I draw to a close, from our own experience, we noted a spike in usage by brokers just using the digital platform itself. Pocket Underwriter during 2020 had a significant increase in gross written premium income. So it really became evident to us that the brokers were using the tool during their virtual meetings with the customers, etc. So we attribute the success rate to the real-time ability to tailor the coverage to suit the client. But let me just take you through a quick video to actually show you some of the insights in which we were able to assist brokers to use the platform online. So here's a quick video of how it works in our world. So it's very customizable and modular. You can connect with Zoom, MS Teams, really any platform that you would like. The nice part about it is that you get to discuss complex risks. You can show them a few claims videos, probably to scare them a bit. But basically, you can tailor the quote with your client in real time. You can go from quote to activate under 10 minutes and all the documents in the palm of your hands. So this is just some of the ways that we were able to support the brokers in this time. And also the onboarding process is really critical for brokers. In our experience, allowing them to sign up in a quick and efficient manner really is a critical part of the success of any system. As I draw to a close today, it's often argued that digital advancements are replacing the human element. So I'd like to leave you with a thought. At the end of the day, this still is a people's business. And I'm reminded of the quote by Tim O'Reilly when I say that. Basically, he says, what new tech does is create new opportunities to do a job that customers want done. So on that note, I hope I left you with some thought-provoking concepts. Happy to share any further insights with you on broking in a digital world. My name is Alicia Narainsamy. Please feel free to get in touch with me and enjoy the rest of the session.